Hello viewers, you're welcome to another exciting and inspiring episode on Talk with Mo. My guest today really is nothing short of being an amazement. Yes, you heard that right. The fact that she's alive and walking today is nothing short of amazing. And she's here to share her story herself. Taiwo, it's so nice to finally meet you. We have been talking back and forth on the phone, and I know that you're in Ottawa and you drove 5 hours to meet with me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's nice meeting you, Mom. Thank you. I appreciate being here this morning. Thank you.
You know what? I'm still looking at you because you recently went through a surgery, another surgery.
Yeah.
But you're sitting here and you're walking in 6 weeks after that surgery.
Yes.
It's just amazing. But that is not the main story, however.
No.
So I have introduced you as Taiwo. Who is Taiwo?
Thank you so much, Mo. I'm happy to be here this morning, and would like to talk more about myself and things I've gone through. Life has taught me a lot of lessons, and my life is a good example for anybody to know that when you are alive, there is hope. Don't ever lose the hope. There can be an Eldorado at the end of the tunnel at any point in time. My journey to myself, or journey to the change, started in 2016. I had a stroke in 2016, September to be precise.
You had a stroke?
Yes. I just woke up that morning, felt the left side numb. I couldn't move my hands. And I was like, what could happen? I've never experienced anybody with a stroke. I don't have that in my family history. But because I have the ability to read things, want to know things, I know something is actually going on.
What was going on in your mind at that time when you couldn't move?
I was blank. I was blank. So the next thing is like, what's the next thing to do? Because one thing about me, when there is a situation, I don't believe crying over a spilled milk. When there is a situation, what's the next thing to do? That is the next thing that came to my mind. Okay, what are we going to do? Pick up my phone, called a friend. Let's go to the hospital. They came, picked me, and we went to the hospital. Realized I had a stroke. That took me like almost 2.5 months in the hospital.
You were hospitalized?
Yes, I was hospitalized because I couldn't walk.
So it was that serious?
Yes, it was serious. It was serious. Even up till date, I still have the impact of the stroke. If I smile, you're still going to see the numbness at this side. And even my fingers, I still have the numbness because it's not something that it's not going to go for life, and it's still going to be there. Yes, it's still going to be there. So I was in the hospital for almost 2 months. Then I was discharged. Unfortunately, before I had the stroke, I had uterine fibroid. It was a very big one. My intention was like, everybody knows that Nigerian medical situation is not something that you can vouch for. So I was scared that if I want to go through any surgical procedure in Nigeria, am I going to be safe? Won't I die? So my plan was like, if I come into Canada as a visitor, I can make payment for that, do that. But unfortunately, by the time I had the stroke, my health started declining. So everything was just really going bad. I started losing weight. The fibroid was 3.2 kg. Yes.
Goodness.
Yes, it was 3.2 kg. The gynecologist advised, it was a little bit scared that it's not even sure it's something they can handle back there, coupled with the fact that I just had a stroke, and with my blood pressure, they don't know what could happen if I'm at the theater, on the operating theater. So you couldn't know, but we're like, there's nothing we can do at this stage. We just have to take the necessary step to save my life. Because the fibroid was really big, and every time it kept on pressing on me, so skyrocketing my blood pressure.
Wow.
And which is not good for the stroke I had, because if it goes further, it can bring me cardiac arrest. So they now said, okay, We just have to look for an anesthesiologist that can handle me. So it took them like a month, yes, to look for somebody who is capable and competent. Because Nigeria is not every other person that is capable. And thank God then, I was financially buoyant. So the hospital was a private hospital in Abuja. So they could be able to source around for a competent anesthesiologist. The anesthesiologist studied abroad, so he was able to handle me. He came, he met with me and said, like, Taiwo, don't worry, I'll be able to handle you. And I think in March, went to the operating theater. I had the surgery. It was 3.5 surgery, but I didn't come round. I came, yes, 3.5 hours. I came round about 7 hours after them. I was at the ICU. Yes, I was at the ICU. I didn't come around for a very long time. And fortunately, by the grace of God, I was back at the ward, and I think the 3rd day I was discharged. After I got home, the 6th day, my stitches busted.
Oh no.
We don't know what went wrong, because I had a bikini cut.
Yes.
So a part of it, I just felt in the morning something was dripping, and it was a little bit stocky. What could go wrong? And by the time I felt it, there was pus coming out of it. Wow.
So it was infected?
Yeah, something like that. So I have to be taken back to the hospital. But at that stage, they said there was nothing they could do. They can't take me back to the theater because I was fragile. So the only thing they could do is like daily dressing, but make sure that a nurse will have to keep coming every day. They have to like keep cleaning it, making sure the tissues around there are alive. So every morning they comes in, they have to bleed it. Yes, make sure it's bleeding. When they clean it, blood has to come out of it. So that I went through that for 4 good months. 4 good months before it closes up. So when it closes up, then I started. And with Nigeria, like I would say that most of the medical procedure and everything is obsolete back then. People are not really knowing what is wrong, because at that stage, I could not eat, I couldn't drink. For me to take like a mug of water or even a pap in the morning, it was very difficult.
Oh, was this before the surgery?
After the surgery. After the surgery, everything just went boom. Everything just went bad. They couldn't figure out what was going on. I was emaciating. Every day I was losing weight. I was losing my sound system. I was losing my vision. I was losing everything. They couldn't even figure out what was going on with me. Like every 3 days, if I want to go from like 10 feet, I'll collapse.
Oh, wow.
Yes, they will take me back to the hospital, put me, your fluid is down, we have to give you another transfusion. There wasn't any blood transfusion, but usually the fluid. So that was going on for like 4 months. The 5th month, the doctor was like, I think at this stage, let's do cancer check and other medical tests. And we did, there was nothing. I didn't have cancer. So at that stage, the doctor was like, this is a state of malice. I don't know what is actually wrong again. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. So when it was, I think, November, I have a friend here who said, Taiwo, before you go sick, you have your Canadian visa. What are you doing? Don't let these people kill you. Pack your things and come. I was like, I don't even have a strength to even carry an handbag. How will I travel? So she said, you know what, let's speak with people and see people's opinion. How is it going to be? How can it be if you're going to travel in a wheelchair or you're going to do this? But with everything I'm going through, I never for one day lose hope. 99.9% of people around me believe I was going to die. Yes, believed I was going to die.
What was strengthening your hope?
Yes, there were 2 things. The first thing was my son. And because I grew up without my mom. My mom died when I was 13. So that was the thing that held me strong, that God, if I could grow up without a child, and I know that the Bible says, ask and it shall be given. I'm asking you, give me this grace. I don't want my son to grow up without me. I don't want him to be alone in the world and the wolves are going to take him easily. No. I'm not dead, I'm still here. You can still revive it. You said the dry bones shall rise again. I can rise. But it was an hopeless prayer for to anybody to hear. But I couldn't talk. Because even if somebody is talking, they can't hear me speak. My son will come because he lives in the US. I can't speak with him because I can't hear him. It was that bad.
You couldn't hear him?
Yes, I could not hear him. Yoruba will call one thing, yeah, I was at that verge.
What does that mean?
Ilepa is like place the buried dead. Yes.
So you were getting close to...
Yes, I was there. I was there. I was gone. I couldn't hear anybody speaking. Nobody could hear me talking. Even if I want to talk, it's so low. So I don't even put up that strength because I can't eat. So the little strength I have every day, I must study that. Okay, the best thing is like, if I want to eat the little I will eat, let me eat and go back to sleep. So sleep is the only comfort I have.
How long did you go through this?
From March till I came here in December. Yeah.
Several months?
Yes, several months. I was going from one medical institution to the other, thinking somebody will find out something that is wrong. I could not walk. If I had to come down from my house, I live in the 3rd floor, like 3 guys will have to come and help me down. I couldn't even lift my feet on the staircase. So they had to be like one after the other bringing my feet down. I couldn't stand by myself. I could not. If I want to stand up from my bed to the washroom, it has to be with a walker. So it was that bad. It was really bad.
And so you made your way to Canada?
So my friend, we made an inquiry and the airline said, yes, why not, she can fly on a wheelchair. And to God be the glory, I got my ticket. I live in Abuja because I work with Osun State government. I was with the diplomatic department, so I had an opportunity knowing everybody in the airport. So my day of traveling, they checked in all my items, even to the boarding gates. So yes, they had to take me to the boarding gate because I couldn't do anything by myself. So even when I came through Ethiopia here and I remembered when I got to Addis Ababa, they brought me down with the wheelchair. They took me up the lift with the wheelchair. So when I got here, and by the time I got here, my friend was like, the best thing you can do is like, you have to change your status through the immigration. That will enable you to access, because your state is bad. I want to advise you to face this by yourself. And I would not advise you to go back to Nigeria. And thank God she said that. Didn't know that was just the beginning of my issues.
So you got to Canada?
Yes, when I got to Canada, with the immigration process, you have to go through medicals. And that was just the beginning of my travel with my health issue. A lot of people listening, hearing this, and who is still going to watch this video more later in the future, we Nigerians have the habit of chasing after money. We don't take care of our health. I was one of them. Because back home in Nigeria, money, jumping from one job to the other, making money. I wasn't taking cognizance of my health. I've always been hypertensive, but that wasn't like, okay, maybe I will always go back and use my medication at the end of the day. But I didn't know it has gotten to that point that it was really, really bad. Really, really bad. And coupled with age, when that thing triggers, everything just kept crumbling. It kept crumbling. So by the time I started my immigration journey here in Canada, medicals, I went for my medicals. The next thing is like, they just called me back. Go to the emergency department of Scarborough General Hospital right away.
Right away?
Yes. I knew quite right I wasn't feeling good. But what is the problem? My kidney was almost shutting down. Yes. My creatinine was extremely low. Then I had high calcium in my system. While back home in Nigeria, I couldn't eat. I was emaciating all the time. They didn't know what was actually going on. So it was those blood work that detected that something was actually wrong. So I got to Scarborough General Hospital immediately. They put me on every test. They said they had to quarantine me, check me for tuberculosis. Well, I don't have tuberculosis. But the reason for that was I was coming from West Africa and my calcium was extremely high. So there are two different things I'm struggling with, my kidney and at the same time the calcium. So they want to be sure if I'm not going to be infecting other people. So they need to clear that order. So I was quarantined, they did the TB test. It was negative, then what was the problem? Okay, fine. They now came, the lung specialist came, that they're going to do a test. They called it bronchoscopy. They will cut a tissue from my lungs. They will take me to the theater. It's a very risky thing, but they had to do it to really know what is actually spiking my calcium. Because when you have high calcium, it's like you're going to have an heart attack. You could drop dead. Yeah. You can drop dead if you don't know what is actually going on. So it was, I never knew all these things.
Too much of anything really is bad because calcium is supposed to be helpful.
Yeah.
But too much calcium can cause death.
Yes, can cause heart attack. I never knew these things until I got here. So they took me, we did the bronchoscopy. They find out that I had a condition. It is called sarcoid. Inflammation of the lungs. It is genetic.
Genetic?
Yes, it is genetic, and like the numbers of people, community of people affecting with that is still very minute. That a lot of people does not know about it. It could affect your organs, definitely it affects the organ, but it depends on which of the organs that could affect that have made it worse. Mine is affecting my lungs, my eyes, and my skin. Go back there, yeah. Because I know some people, their bone marrow, their hearts. So it's very close to lupus, but not lupus. But it's as bad as that if it's not monitored. With anybody with sarcoidosis, we have to be monitored every now and then because you don't know when it gets worst. So it has to be monitored every now and then. So when they realized that, okay, which medication are they going to place me on? They started with steroid. I was on 60 milligrams steroid for 2.5 years. So you can imagine me being on steroid. When I did my fibroid operation back home, it was fully hysterectomy. Yes. Because the surgeon said I have to remove your womb. If I don't do that, this thing is going to grow back because it's 3.2 kg. And yes, it was really big. And if it comes back, that could take your life. So there was nothing I could do to get it off. So coupled with that pushed me to menopause. I was menopausal. And the steroid again, it was messing up with my head. And the fact that my high blood pressure is there and every other thing. So it was a roller coaster. It took me 5 years to come to be back on track.
To where you are today?
Yes, 5 years. 5 years, yes.
And how are you today?
I'm feeling good. I'm at a good place, a happy place. Because with the steroid, that actually plummeted my weight. I gained a lot of weight. And the weight actually destroyed a lot of things again.
So what did you do about that?
After I started gaining weight, they discovered that I had arthritis on my both knees. So I saw the surgeon. The guy said, you know what? You need a total kneecap replacement, but I can't do anything with you now. You're too big. If I do anything with this weight, your bones are going to break. So the best thing is go back, you're going to have a gastric bypass. It was a very difficult process. It was a difficult process. I shouldn't say process. Because, somebody that is so used to eating, because with the steroid, it changes everything. It changes everything. And if you have to go through gastric bypass, it takes a lot of discipline, mental discipline, and you need a good coping mechanism, support system around you. If you don't have that, it's not something you can go through. A total change of lifestyle and determination. Yes. Total change of lifestyle and determination.
So what was your weight?
I was 360 pounds. Yes, I was wearing size 28.
What's your height?
I was 5'6". Yeah. It was really bad. Because during those times, from 2017 till 2020, I was almost, like every month, I'm 3 times at the emergency. Because the sarcoid is going to trigger my asthma. So I'm like coming in, coming out, coming in and coming out. And one thing is like obesity will always introduce other diseases to your system.
Of course.
You are not guaranteed if you are obese that you are not going to have cancer. Yes, it's not guaranteed. Lately, I started talking to people about encouraging people that we are in an enabling environment. The government is ready to do gastric bypass for anybody who is interested, free. And it's just to help you to live a better life. You're not doing the government any favor by doing it, but you are doing yourself a favor. But a lot of people are like, Auntie, why don't you advise people to eat healthy? I said, all people's stories are different. People have hormonal issues that they cannot even control what they eat. For somebody like me, it was the steroid.
You had to be eating.
Yes, I just had to be eating. I'm on 2 medications. One is the steroid, and the other one that I still use till date, I use it every Friday. It is called methotrexate. It's for people with cancer, so that it limits every growth in your system. When I use it on Friday, I'm a total mess. Yeah.
When you say you are a total mess, what do you mean?
Like, I could not do anything. Body pains. You don't feel comfortable because it breaks down your immunity. Yeah.
So if you take it on Friday,
Till
what's the
Sunday
recovery?
morning. Sunday morning. Yeah, Sunday morning.
So when did you have the gastric bypass?
I had a gastric bypass in 2020 March.
And what's your weight now?
Oh, now, I think I lost 95 kg. Yes. I lost 95 kg. And after, like I was saying earlier, you know, with the weight, a lot of things came in. I had arthritis in my both nail, which has really gone bad. Then I had degenerated disc. My L4 and L5 of my spine is limping into each other. So when I lost that weight, those weight then, my belly was so much, the flappy skin was much that I couldn't stand. So it was like pulling me down. So most of the time I'm always in pain. So I had to go and see a plastic surgeon, a wonderful woman as well, Dr. Akinwusi. She's an incredible Christian, very wonderful human being. So she said, you know, Auntie, you know what I can do for you? It's going to cost you this much, but I can help you with this. And I think I paid $16,000. Yeah.
To have
My tummy, my breast, my sides, so that to relieve me of the pain in the back.
Because the loose skin
Yes.
was pulling.
I didn't do that for cosmetic.
Of course.
Because I'm constantly in pain. Constantly in pain.
But it goes without saying though that you lost 95 kg.
kg.
Where is it going to go?
Yes.
So it's there.
It's there.
So it needs there to be taken off.
It has to be taken off because most of the time I had to wear body trainers, and even wearing those body trainers, the pain is still there, sciatica pain, because in anybody who has a versatile knowledge of what L5 and L4 degenerated disc is, they will know that it affects your motion. So it's going to give you sciatica pains, and it's a constant thing. It is constant.
So through all of this,
Yes.
what kept you going?
What kept me going was that if things can turn around for the best, for I could lose all those weight, with motivation was like, I trust myself, I can do it. I mean, I'm not dead, I'm here. So every day is a renewed hope for me. Every blessed day is a renewed hope. After I did my gastric bypass, you know, coming back from Nigeria, if you are not a professional, it's like you starting again. Because I had a BA in English language and a diploma in law back in Nigeria. I worked with the government for 27 years. So with my experience, with everything that had happened to me, changed my trajectory. That all I want to do is serve. Be a mouthpiece for people who are not capable of doing that. Do it for them in a more efficient and respectable manner. I believe that everyone is, so that actually gingered me to have a diploma in community and developmental service worker. So I believe that every one of us, we are incapable in one way or the other, that we need assistance. So I don't see anybody as a disabled. We are all disabled. It all depends on your aspect of disability. Everybody has a disability.
We all can do everything.
Yes. So I had that, and after then I'm back at University of Waterloo for my bachelor's in social work, which is still ongoing.
It's ongoing.
Yes, so those things actually changed my trajectory, that life, it is when you are here that you are relevant. And within a twin of a time, things could change. I was living a flamboyant, wonderful life where everything just turned around, and it was like a roller coaster. Since 2017, I had a full hysterectomy. 2020, I had a gastric bypass. 2022, I had tummy tuck. 2023, when I had my gastric bypass, I had like hernia in my umbilical cord. I had that adhesion removed. In 2023 again, I had a total kneecap replacement.
So it's both your knees?
One.
Just one?
Yes, but I'm still going to have the other one. And don't forget, I still have my degenerated disc, that the surgeon is still going to put a spine on it. And like we had said initially, that's the impact of not taking good cognizances of the good health, chasing after money, chasing after things of life.
You are saying that if you had been more cognizant, if you had taken good care of your health,
Yes.
you wouldn't be here.
Things wouldn't have been this degenerated.
The story would be different.
Because don't forget that I was obese with high blood pressure.
Were you always obese?
I was always obese. I was always, yes. I've always been an obese child.
And even with that,
yes,
you're
I was
saying you
careless.
could have taken better care of yourself.
I was careless. I was careless.
Are you still on the medication you
I'm
talked
not.
about?
I'm not on steroids.
Steroids, yes.
But I'm still on the other medication because it's a genetic thing. It's a lifetime thing. So you are not sure, but it's getting better every day. Every other day that I see my lung doctor, because I have to like do my check every month, things are always better, and my kidney is always at the right place now. With the weight off, because with the weight, everything is still going to be bad. So with the weight off, definitely my kidney is more healthy. But you know, the impact of the things that have been broken down through the weight, I'm still suffering it. Yes, I am still suffering it.
When we talked earlier on,
Yes.
through all of these challenges you're going through, you found love.
Oh, I did.
Tell us about that.
When I came here, you know, I came here alone, and even having friends there, you wouldn't expect, everybody knows the bustling and tussling of Canada. You wouldn't expect anybody to live their life. So a friend just introduced like, oh, look at this gentle brother, he's an awesome human being, blah, 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 blah. At least you need somebody to be there for you. Somebody that understands. And this is a selfless human being. Somebody that can be there for you at every point in time. And you know, I was like, okay, at least somebody to be talking to. And you know, when I met him, I told him everything. I did not hide anything. I said, this is me. I had nothing. I lost everything with my sickness. And at the same time, I don't have a womb. I can't give you a child. And I'm sick. And he said, are you God? You're not God. If you are not going to, God is not going to give you another chapter. You won't be here in Canada for you to access good health, for you to access everything that is still going on and now. You will have been dead back in Nigeria. And you know, it was just there. And within 5 months, he said, let's move in together.
Oh, wow.
Yes, let's move in together, because you can't be living alone. Living alone, you are living with friends. Don't expect you're going to be their responsibility for a very long time. If you are going to be somebody's responsibility, it has to be somebody that is close to you. and cares sincerely.
And he was ready to shoulder that responsibility.
Oh, Sissy was there. Throughout every of my surgeries, he was there. I could remember way back then that every month, like 3 times at the emergency, he's always there. He's always there. I wasn't working. He was the one supporting me. He was the one that would, most of the time he has to leave everything he wants to do. He's living his dreams, his focus and everything. And focused on me. It was a good support.
Was this man, was he previously married?
Yes, he was the divorcee.
So does he have kids?
Yes, he has his kids back in Nigeria. And you know one thing, if you are a good woman and you meet a good person, I have a son who is an adult, but one thing I believe, like the Bible says, he who wants peace for Jerusalem will always find peace. I'm a mother, he has his children, that I always make sure we do the due diligence, taking care of those children like they are mine. And if I say I love him, I must love those children. And Yoruba says that, so whatever I want to get, I want my child to get, is what I'm going to give those children. So I try as much as possible, because the woman owns the house. If you have a child, if your husband has a previous child, it depends on who you are. That matters on how that man will take care of those children. And I try as much as possible. How I want my child to be taken care of is what I do to those children. And I thank God till date. God has been awesome.
So,
yeah.
You guys are married?
Yo, we're married, definitely.
So
we're married.
How long?
We got married. Yes, we got married October 30, 2020. Yes, 2020. And you see, the funny thing.
An anniversary coming up soon.
Yes, you see, the funny thing is, like, it's always amazing to people. That was my first marriage. I was a single mom. Yeah. The amazing thing was, like, it's not as if I was petite, I was able. When my weight was at the highest, it would always go to the supermarket, to the shop with a video, because I couldn't walk. If I want to walk, I'm always in pain. It would go video, okay, I should buy this, I'll buy that, I should buy that. It's the one that will always go and do that. He was never ashamed of me. He was never ashamed of me.
So the hope that you held on to,
yes,
was a living hope.
It was.
That has seen you through.
It was. God rewrote my story.
God rewrote your story.
Yes.
And I'm sure there's so many people who will be able to relate to one part of your story or another. What message would you have for them?
To anybody listening, watching this, whenever time you have the time to go through this, always believe when there is life, there is hope. You never can say it is finished when you're still alive. Even at the end of the tunnel, when everything is black, light can still come up. At the end of it, you never can say. Because if anybody should tell me, this is me, I will be married, me that usually wears size 28, I'm not wearing size 14, and I'm looking the best of myself, and I'm loving myself.
As you should.
Yes, I'm loving myself.
And we are loving you
yes, back. Loving myself.
Taiwo, it's been such a pleasure and a privilege, I must say.
Yes.
For you to trust us with your story. Thank you for coming in today to share your story.
So thank you.
So on that note, I'm going to end. Taiwo's messaging is simple. Take good care of your health and never lose hope, however dark the tunnel may seem. On that note, you take good care of yourself and I'll catch you later. God bless you. Bye now.